I had 22 up there for a second. Like that's surprising.
Already? You've got 22 already.
24 now.
Wow. Wow. That's pretty
Yeah.
awesome. Okay. Well,
It's all
welcome.
because of you, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm the big name here. Welcome to the podcast. Thank you very much for making the time to jump on board, and we really appreciate your time. So, for the people who don't know you, who are you, and what do you do?
Hello, Internet. My name is Bjorvio, and I am a TikTok content creator that is also kind of an aspiring voice actor. But, I'm just here to have fun, talk, and have a good time.
Awesome, great introduction, and you're obviously I've known you for a little bit now. 10 years. I'm just no.
Feels like it, though.
It does. We've got chemistry for sure. But you're a very talented person. You've got such
Thank you.
incredible range. How long have you been voice acting?
So, I've been making voices all my life. It's just kind of been one of those things. Like, I remember growing up, we went on a family trip, and there's a cousin that's about my age, and I promised them I would do like a voice acting show because I could imitate Ed from Ed, Ed and Eddie really, really well. And I mean, I was like second grade at the time. And also, for the record, no, I did not do the content, the concert, and I feel awful about it to this day.
Okay.
Um, but I guess it really took off about 4 years ago when I got into Dungeons and Dragons. I became a dungeon master, and we have to do anywhere from 5 to 40 voices in one session. So they might run into somebody that's a bird and sounds like this, and then 2 seconds later, they're running into a little shopkeeper that sounds a little bit like this. And you just have to roll with it and keep on going.
That's the best practice there is. And for those of you who haven't seen, there's been one video about this, but I did a bit of a Dungeon and Dragons quest one day, and it was so much fun. And you as the dungeon master, you were incredible. It was my first ever Dungeons and Dragons appearance, and I sucked, but it was a blast. I'm definitely gonna continue doing it, and online only, because in my little town, the old folks don't love, or they don't even know what Dungeons and Dragons is really.
Well, you're always welcome back.
Thank you very much. I'll get better before I come back. So before we begin the main questions, I'd love to do a bit of a quick fire. For those of you who listen to the podcast, we do a bit of a quick fire question section where we just ask questions, get to know the guest a little bit better. Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes sense. I'm looking forward to it.
Easy, easy. I might throw in some curveballs. We'll see.
Gasp.
Okay. We'll start with the simple ones. What is your... So, sorry, before we get into this, how many people are on your live?
Right now, 5, but that's okay. It'll keep going up.
5. If there's one, that's great. They're just listening to you. It's great to know that they... And most of your fans, where are they from around the world?
So most of my following is here in the States, but about 23% are in the UK. I have about maybe 8% in Canada, 2% in Brazil. So if you're in Brazil, um, hola. Yeah, and I don't really have a big following in Australia or New Zealand, which I find to be kind of strange. But
That'll change. That'll change.
yeah, that'll change. We'll fix that real quick.
Yeah, yeah. After this podcast released, you'll get a few, I'm sure. Okay. Favorite color?
I like what red, like a hint of red in black. Like if you have a black background, you draw a red design in it. I think that looks spectacular.
Mm.
If you're going for like a pattern, otherwise I would say like maybe a just straight up red or sapphire.
Sapphire. That's nice. Yeah, no, red and pink goes well together. Sorry, black and pink goes well together as well, like a black background with the
Surprisingly,
pink.
yeah, they do.
Mm. That's good. That's good. Are you artsy?
I'm creative, but not in the like drawing sense. I can sit there and come up with what I want and then tell someone to draw it for me.
Mm. Okay, so you got the creation, but not necessarily artsy. Okay, cool. What's your favorite
Yeah.
type of music?
So I grew up listening to the classic rock and like 80s, 90s, 2000s country. I don't really like where country is these days. So I also listen to a lot of anime openers, but I would say I'm also huge into classical and jazz. There's just that musician in me. Like when you get a strong bass going with a strong percussion, and then you just have, and then all of a sudden it gets quiet and you hear some strings playing ever so
Mm.
quietly, and then you start off and slowly start build. Oh man, we could talk about this for forever. I'm gonna change topic.
What's your favorite anime opener then? That's the third question.
Top three, I would say, uh, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood season one. Again, it's just starts off with that like real quiet intro, and then that guitar comes in. It's just
Mm.
it is ear candy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, of course, I gotta go Rock the Dragon from Dragon Ball Z.
Yes.
So good. Uh, I would also say season one of My Hero Academia is really good, though. Season six, the first one and the second one, both really impressed me.
Mm-hmm. I agree, and quite a cool, quite good animation as well in
Oh,
the
for
opening for
sure.
season six. Like a lot of people dissed it quite a bit, but I liked the animation. It was refreshing and new. Okay, are you a singer?
According to my wife, absolutely not.
But
I do like to, as a way to get more professional, like as a way to kind of challenge my range a little bit, but I don't think I'm any good.
But everyone because you have such control over your voice and you sound, most voice actors I've spoken to, they can sing. And I'm sure your control, and I've heard it, you must have a really good singing voice. I'd like to hear it sometime. Maybe you can post some videos on your TikTok.
I'm better at impersonating singers than actually singing in my own voice. Like I can sing Evermore from the live action Beauty and the Beast quite well as the Beast, but when I sing it as myself, it's like, dude, you're missing notes left and right. Like, what are you doing?
You should, you know what you should do? This is a TikTok you should do. You should do the Peaches song that Jack Black does. You should sing that.
Oh, don't tempt me with a good time.
All right, what's your favorite dance move? Your go-to dance move on the dance floor?
Um, Also, according to my wife, it would be the sit in the chair off of the dance floor and not actually getting on it.
Okay.
But I would say probably just like the my my that's the one I do all the time.
I got a glimpse of your singing voice there and a great dance move. That's a clip that's going to be a teaser for this podcast. Actually, that was perfect.
I love it. Glad I could help.
Thank you very much. That'll go viral. What is your guilty pleasure?
So I got a little bit of a weird one, and that's that I like to add lemon to all of my drinks. Like you get a
Ooh.
Coke and you squeeze some lemon juice in it, really, really good. Dr. Pepper, squeeze a lemon in it, really good. Add Capri Sun, squeeze it in there. Sunkiss, same thing. It's amazing. I've never tried anything that doesn't taste good, but you tell people that and they're like, dude, you're insane. And I'm like, no, no, I'm not. You're just not cultured.
That actually makes a lot of sense. That makes a heck of a lot of sense. Do you have like a lemon tree in your backyard?
Nope, I wish.
You just buy it. You
I
know
just buy it. Yeah,
that
but I can make one last about a week.
yeah, yeah, and it's good for you too. You can always, you drink a Coke, you chuck lemon in, you always think it's a health drink rather than a Coke itself. So it's
Exactly. Now you're using your brain. Now we thinking.
that's smart. That's smart. Are you a sweet or savory person?
I am savory for the most part. I prefer something like chips or Cheez-Its or popcorn, anything like that. But every once in a while, I'll get a strong sweet tooth. But it's a lot easier to pass than my craving for salty and savory.
Okay, what is your favorite anime dad? There's not many of them. There's probably two to choose from.
Does All Might count?
I'd say he does. He's probably has a few kids out there he doesn't know about.
I would
So
say All Might, and second place would be a surprise contender, Von Hohenheim.
who's he?
He is Edward and Alphonse's dad.
Edmund and Alphonse's dad. Okay. Oh, nice. All right, that makes sense. And um, do you? I saw something this morning about this, and I'm not sure where I stand in regards to Deku's father. Now, there's a theory out there that says that Deku's dad is All for One. Have you heard this theory?
I have heard this theory.
What's your thoughts?
I don't know. Like, if I find it hard to believe that, like, a dude that has all of these quirks could have a child that's quirkless.
That's true. I never thought of that. That makes sense. Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously the theory comes into play saying the creator of My Hero Academia is a fan of Star Wars as well,
Mm-hmm.
and he likes that whole, so we'll see, um, but My Hero Academia is definitely a big, very cool show for me.
Oh, for sure.
Dog or cat person?
100% dog. I have one that has just he's stolen my heart. I love him to death, and he's a part of our family. Um, I am partially allergic to cats, so I will say I am biased, not like life threatening or anything, just really red eyes and sneezing. And so I think it's kind of been paired with that. If you're allergic to it and you're around them, it's kind of aversive. So your brain kind of triggers like, maybe not cats.
I'm the
But
same. I'm allergic to mine. I've got a cat, but I've also got four dogs. Have you put your dog into any videos?
um, I think one back when that anime AI filter was coming out,
Hmm.
I did one of him, and I was like, the anime. I think it was the AI filter does one of two things, and it showed like just this beautiful AI dog, and then the next one was a girl sitting on the couch, and I'm like, okay, well, that fits.
Okay, I like that. I like that filter. It's a bit of fun. And final question: what is your favorite town in the world?
My favorite town. I would probably say Kissimmee, Florida. If or otherwise, it's a little town right outside of Orlando that has. It's actually where Disney World is located.
Ooh, and is that why you like it? Because of Disney World being there?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. And from what I've seen, you're quite a Disney fan. From your videos, what's your favorite Disney film?
If we're talking about, I would say probably Tarzan because the plot's good, but the soundtrack is just blows you away.
Hmm.
Um, Other high quality ones, I would say Rapunzel, Beauty and the Beast, um, all top notch in my book.
Cool, cool. I was just scrolling through your TikTok before, and I noticed you obviously are a big animation fan in general, and having the voice of Mickey Mouse and stuff like that, and doing a few different Disney voices and Disney stories. You obviously, is your wife an anime fan or Disney fan as well?
She is a hardcore Disney fan.
Cool.
Hardcore, I would say so much more than me. Though I like it just comes more natural to her. Like I'm running to keep up and she's just always there. Like I'm all it's one of the things that really impresses me. Um and she so and then I actually got her into anime.
Mm-hmm.
Um I think the first anime we watched together was My Hero Academia, and then it was Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. And then when the pandemic happened, she watched a few without me, and I'm like, oh, I'm totally cool with this. Um, Other than that, we've also seen every season that My Heroes come out with since we've watched together, and we just finished watching up to season 2 of Demon Slayer together.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, Demon Slayer is quite a good one for me as well. That's great though. You're living the dream, having a wife that's an anime fan. That's the dream.
I am, and I'm living the dream in a lot of ways. She's amazing. She's my number one supporter. That her and my mom, and we actually had a Star Wars themed wedding.
No, really?
No, I'm dead serious. I am dead serious. And it was
That is
her
cool.
idea, not mine. No one believes me, but it was her idea.
That is awesome. So, tell me about it. How did it look and feel? What happened at the wedding?
So what we did is we decorated the ceiling with a bunch of streamed lights to kind of give it that hyperspace look. And then where we got married, there was lights and to again kind of look like that's like hyperspace. We had a photo booth with a bunch of stuff. For me and all the groomsmen, we had Star Wars socks. So like mine was Darth Vader, and then our boutonnieres had a matching Lego figure that
Mm.
corresponded to our socks. We walked out to the main Star Wars theme. Just a lot of little small things like that. It was awesome. She knocked it out of the park.
That's amazing. That is a cool wedding. I'd love to see photo. You need do you have Facebook or anything like that? You need to add me.
I can get you some photos for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I need to see some. I need to see some for sure. All right.
Got it.
What is your top three anime?
First of all time, it has to be. It has to be Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. There's just none that compete in my opinion. There's just none. It's so well written, and I argue that with Full Metal, you have to watch it twice because the second time you're watching it, it's a completely different show.
Mhm.
Because now you see all the little hints and stuff along the way. You're like, wow, I completely missed that. It's so good. Next to that, I would say it's My Hero Academia. My wife and I really have bonded and over My Hero, and so it has a very special connection for me. And obviously, both of them have Chris Sabat in it, which there's going to be a running trend here with that. And then the third one, I have to give it to my first Dragon Ball Z. Again,
Mm.
Chris Sabat.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Chris Sabat's the main man. You need to, being in America, I'm sure, doesn't he do quite a few conventions like around your area for you to see him?
Oh yeah, he does a lot.
You need to head out there to see him sometime.
Oh, I will, and believe me, I'm going to impersonate every single character that he can do that I can do as well.
So nothing on the nothing planned though. You don't have anything planned to go see him?
um, it's one of those where if I'm gonna go, my wife's gonna go, so I want to make sure that there's stuff for her to do there. So it'd probably be like there'd have to be a lot of My Hero people or Demon Slayer people in order to get her interest, and then once she's interested, it's like okay, done deal, let's go, bye.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Get her on board. Uh, that's cool. It must be amazing having so many conventions around. We've got like one main one, which is Armageddon Expo, which I'll be going to shortly. I think in a couple of weeks. But yeah, having the ability to just go do those conventions, and most of them are a drive away. That's not a flight necessarily. Would be a cool feeling. Yeah.
Oh, it's pretty nice. I mean, it's anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour and a half away, if that. And we just go and hang out, have fun, and you know, it, I I wish we would. We just started going to them this year though, so I'd like to be able to go to more, and I'm sure we will.
Yeah, 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 for sure. And as a couple, that's a cool thing to do as a couple. Good bonding experience for sure.
Absolutely.
What is your biggest or one of your controversial anime opinions?
Uh this one might step on a few people's toes.
Mm,
If you haven't seen original Dragon Ball,
mm.
it's going to be really hard to call yourself a Dragon Ball fan.
Yeah, yeah, I can agree with that. I can agree with that actually. That makes a lot of sense. And I think I'm in your generation as well. I think we're a
Right.
similar age bracket. But growing up with Dragon Ball and then Dragon Ball Z, you're right. You need to know the whole story for
You
sure.
do. And my favorite fight in the entire franchise is in Dragon Ball. It's the final fight of of Dragon Ball, Goku versus Ma Junior.
Hmm.
And it's one of those that people love the Goku versus Vegeta fight, in the Saiyan arc, and that fight actually took a lot from the Goku versus Ma Junior fight.
Okay, and if you didn't see the first one, then you're not going to fully understand or comprehend the Goku versus Vegeta fight. Yeah, that makes sense.
Exactly.
That makes a lot
Now
of
I will
sense.
say though, Dragon Ball has not aged super great. There are some jokes and some material that could not be said today, so just take that with a grain of salt, or something to keep in mind, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, it is something to keep in mind. But yeah, don't let it taint your opinion of the entire show for sure.
For
I
sure.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm watching I'm just rewatching it at the moment, and I'm just at Dragon Ball Z now, when they're fighting Boo, and
Mm.
spoilers. I'm just you can't say spoilers about Dragon Ball Z. Come on, and I obviously spoke to Josh Martin recently, and just hearing all these people that I've spoken to is a really cool experience, and then observing their talent and um I want to talk to the voice actor for Hercule, Chuck. Um,
Oh, that would be fun.
yeah, he'd be a fun person to talk to because I really, he's talented in the show. He's a lot of fun.
He is, and he's just one of those that got progressively better over time. Like, not his first performance was amazing and great, but hearing him in Super is like, wow, you've really made that your own. It's so good. His delivery is just so impressive.
Agreed. And now that you're a voice actor, and when you watch anime, do you find yourself doing that, like listening to the voice actors and not judging but admiring the talent? Does it take from the story itself, or it's just a nice addition to the story?
So typically, I like I with the anime that my wife and I have watched, it's been like I've always watched it first and then got her into it later. So when we re-listen to it, I'm able to sit down and listen to each individual actor's performance since I don't have to focus on the plot.
Mm,
But if I have to focus on the plot, then I'm just sitting there watching it, and then I'll rewatch it later during specific scenes, and then I'll take a listen to, oh, that's how they did that. Oh, that's kind of cool.
right. So you absorb yourself fully in the plot, and then you can review it after that. Okay. Yeah,
Exactly.
that makes sense. That makes a lot.
Fanboy first, voice actor second.
Yeah. What would be your goal as a voice actor? Your end goal as a voice actor?
My end goal, honestly, is like what I would love to be in an anime someday, like even if it's just for any kind of role whatsoever. But I would say that my absolute end goal is just to continue to push myself. As lame as that sounds, it's kind of true. I I really want to go beyond plus ultra and
Mm,
figure out what I can do, what I can do well, what I can perfect it, and see what happens of it. So if I make it into an anime, that's great. But I just I was telling a friend this the other day. It's kind of like I've declared war on myself. Of like, no, I'm gonna keep getting better. I'm gonna keep pushing myself. But I would say an alternative to that would be ending up in an anime someday.
You sound a little bit like a shonen protagonist there, actually. That was
I get
great.
compared to Izuku Midoriya a lot,
Uh,
and I'm okay with that.
Heck yeah! As long as you don't cry. I mean, no, crying's fine. Crying's fine. He cried a lot in the past, but he
I
got
don't cry
better.
nearly as much as I used to, but I'm more of like season 6, like
Yeah.
crying when I need to, not like cry because someone looked at me really bad and it hurt my feelings. Like not like that kind of Deku anymore.
No, no, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, have you got a demo out there?
Not yet. I I'm in the process of finalizing some of the voices that I've been doing for in D&D for the past few years, and so now but I've never really had to push out and fully see their range. So now I'm getting to the point where I'm like, okay, now I'm comfortable with a lot of those voices, and I've made them my own, made them you know to the point that I am happy with them. So now I want to actually work on getting a demo out soon.
Mm, That'll be cool. I'm looking forward to hearing it actually because, like I said, I think you're an amazing talent, and I think once your demo is out there, it'll be picked up, and I think you'll definitely. It won't be long before you're on an anime, and I think because that's such an achievable goal for you, I think you have the right idea of trying to push yourself and better yourself as a goal rather than that being the end goal. Because once you get to that point, there's always going to be more that you want to do. You know?
Exactly. Exactly. And I just think it's fun to try and, figure out what voice, what you can and can't do. And so like, you can learn a lot of things from other voice actors, even if you yourself can't do their voices. Like I've learned a lot listening to Zach Aguilar do
Mm,
so many voices recently, but I cannot do any voice that he can do. That doesn't mean I can't learn something from it,
hmm
and so I'll take what I can from it and just replicate that. And it's so satisfying just being able to make something your own. Or if you're trying to impersonate a voice and then that first moment that it clicks and you're like, that was awesome. Now how did I do that?
Yeah, yeah. How to replicate it once again. Uh, that's cool. Now, I'm a big fan of your TikTok and your content. It's cool that you're so regular, you're so consistent and creative, bro. You've got such creative range as well. Where do you get your ideas from?
So most of the time when it comes to me, like, or like I'll have an idea and I'll try something out and see what kind of comments I get and how people like it, how many bookmarks, and then I'll tweak it based off, user response. So a lot of times whatever people comment on the videos, I take that feedback and apply it and try and make it better. So that, or I just, like, for my Dungeons and Dragons stuff, I just make a story and go with it. Like
Mm-hmm.
I but a lot of the voice acting stuff, that's where I'm needing more user feedback, because I'm wanting people to actually look at it and say, hey, what might be cool is if you tried this. And
Mm.
I'm not getting a lot of that yet, which is fine. I'm just keep going and doing what I'm doing until someone says, what, can you, put this into an AI script and read that? Or, hey, can you open the first book to your left to page 64 and just read the first sentence of paragraph 2?
Mm-hmm.
Or something like that.
Mm-hmm. And you got such a good voice, and it's so easy to listen to. Have you ever thought of doing a podcast yourself?
So me and some friends did contemplate it a couple of years ago, but things just kept getting in the way. Like we couldn't figure out a name, and then it was just scheduling was hard. And so I said, fine, I will do TikTok in the meantime until we get the podcast up and running. Well, I'm still doing TikTok. So I've thought about it, and it is something that I'm interested in, but making it come to life is still something that I'm playing around with, I guess.
Well, like I said to you before, um, if I get people that you like to interview, I'd love to have you with me. Co-hosting somehow and interviewing some people, and it's great to have a fan like you on board and bringing different opinions. And I think people are sick of hearing my South African accent as well. I've got no feedback in regards to that, but I think South African accents can be harsh. So it'd be nice to get your American accent on sometime.
Yeah, I'll be on whenever you need me to, honestly. And
Cool.
honestly, your accent's great. It's very soothing for me to hear. It's mine that I'm over here like, you could have said that a little differently, just change that up a little bit.
No, I love it. I love it. Okay, well, what are your favorite anime characters to voice? And can you give some examples?
Sure. So my favorite, and the one I'm probably most known for, is All Might, the number one hero from My Hero Academia. Um, Shigaraki's one that I'm kind of working on, but I'm not quite there yet. I think it needs a little bit of something. More like season 1, not quite full blown evil season 6. And then I'm going to move the microphone away for this one because it gets a little loud. I think you already know which one I'm going to do. I'm gonna do Bakugo's howitzer impact just because that's the easiest thing for me to do in his voice. Howitzer impact!
you that was too amazing. The mic couldn't even pick it up.
Is it
Went,
really?
yeah, it went out. You know, Zoom. I think Zoom's got that filter where I don't know, it does weird things to voices. I try to get someone to do it's over 9,000. You know that comment. He couldn't. Zoom didn't pick it up. So give me something else in Bakugo's voice.
What do you want me to say, nerd?
That hurt me. No, that was great.
Ah!
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Bakugo. Leave me alone. Okay?
Why don't you just grow some chest hair?
That's probably one of my favorites that you do. I mean, All Might is amazing, and you do it so freaking well. Um, have you met the voice actor for Bakugo? I forget his name. I'm mind blanked.
Yes, I have met him, but I was able to ask him a question at a panel, but I at the time I didn't know I could do Bakugo's voice until maybe 3 weeks ago, and I just sat there in the car just going howitzer impact for like 30 minutes, and the next day I'm like, that was a really dumb idea because I could not hear anything. I could not say anything.
True. That'd be a hard character. You'd have to really look after your voice. Can you say his hero name for me in his voice?
I'm gonna see if I could get it right, but I think it's King Explosion Murder God Dynamite.
You got it. You got it. That's perfect. And that's the best hero name out there, I think. That's a freaking awesome hero name.
100%.
Who's the voice actor that you've met and you've just really connected with?
So, the voice actor for Mirio Togata, Rico, I forget his last name, but
For yeah.
yes, thank you. He and I went up to him and I told him like, hey, you're my first person I'm at any convention that is ever gonna give me a signature, and he's like, at this convention? I said, no, like ever. And so we just sat there for like 5 minutes talking about fan fiction about Mirio. And I know people are like, oh, that's probably a weird thing that you brought up to him. That was his idea. You know, we were talking about like who Mirio could beat in a fight, who he couldn't beat in a fight, how exactly he made his suit, because you know it's made from his own hair. How long did that take? And just different things like that. And he was just such a really cool and chill guy. I thoroughly enjoyed talking to him, and we had such great chemistry. I felt like I could have sat there and just, had lunch with him, had a cup of tea, something, and we could have just been there for hours. But sadly, there were other people in line, so I moved along like the polite little fanboy I am.
That's awesome. Because he is. As you know, I spoke to him a couple of days ago, but he is. I'm looking forward to the podcast looking forward to it coming out because he is just the way he talks, the way he explains things. He's a very, very good actor, but he's like the real life Mirio. He's so positive um, and then him talking about his character also just is just so special the way he talks about depression and his positivity, and it's just great. I'm looking forward to you hearing that episode because I really I said in one of my videos there were so many goosebump moments in that chat and discussion that I could have kept on going forever, but I had to stop it.
I believe it. So I'd say he's one that I had a really good connection with. Also, the voice actor for Ayama, the belly button guy, or
Yeah.
the laser guy. Let me be more clear.
Mhm.
I owe him a huge thank you, and he probably does not remember this. But at a My Hero convention, I raised my hand to ask him a question, and I had on an All Might jacket with an All Might badge, and the guy holding the microphone was like, oh, well, I guess you're dressed as All Might. And I said, ha ha, I sure guess you could say that, citizen. And he looked at me and goes, "That was the best Sabbath I've ever heard," on a mic to a room of people. And that's really what encouraged me to, to pursue this a little bit more. And to be honest, I don't remember what question I asked him. I don't remember what his answer was. My wife said the question makes sense, so I believe her. Um, but that was one of those, like, did he really just say that? And so I owe him a huge thank you. And so I'd also like to have a chat with him as well someday. And obviously, the big names, Chris Sabat, who has inspired me since I was a little child, and Sean Shamel, because dude can scream like nobody in this freaking world.
No, that's great. I haven't actually reached out to Ayama as voice actor yet, so maybe we could go at that together once we get him on. That'll be cool.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah, okay, I'll do that. I'll do that for sure. Um, and you talking about your All Might jacket and merch, you must have some cool anime merch. Do you?
Oh yeah. I have the pocket watch from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I have so much All Might stuff. Again, people compare me to Izuku Midoriya for a reason. I have a signed All Might. I have All Might sticky notes, jacket, hats, shirt, shoes, watch. I'm not ashamed of it. People just need to get over it. Obviously, I have a couple of posters behind me. Those are actually my wife's posters. She did want me to clarify. I have one that's Rengoku and Akaza. I have a Rengoku statue over here. You might not be able to tell, but I'm wearing a Rengoku shirt.
Oh yeah, tasty, beautiful.
Tasty, yes, he is. I mean, yeah. I have quite a bit of anime stuff. I think we own 2 anime monopolies, maybe. I know we have My Hero. I don't know what the other one is.
That's cool. You need to do a. Have you ever done a room tour or a merch tour of your stuff?
I haven't. I have one in my drafts, and I just there was something about it I just didn't like, and so I think I'll need to. I'd like to do that again. Maybe this time I'll actually do a better job of it.
You could just put all the voices on and as you go around. And that'll be cool. It'll be great to see, and I'm sure your fan base will like it as well. That's awesome. Okay, well I know you have stuff to do, so a couple more things.
Yeah.
I'd like you to use your beautiful talent, your amazing voice, to do some improv scenes or some scenes with your character voices. So the first one is All Might trying to flirt, maybe in his big form. He meets a girl and he's trying to flirt.
Hey, baby, you ever seen why they call me the #1 hero?
That's a perfect line. That's great. Bakugo at anger management. I'll be let me be the counselor. So you know why you're here, right?
Yeah, because they keep making me come here for some stupid reason.
See, even your tone there. I'd like you to start. I'd like you to start everything you say saying maybe I feel, or
I feel like you need to shut up.
Make some I statements. I listen. I know. This is how you express yourself, and this is how you talk. But maybe you could say, "Tell me why you were this angry."
Right. Fine, I'll answer your dumb question. I feel like I'm angry at the moment because you don't have a brain and keep asking me all these dumb questions that you already know the answer to. I know you do. I'm no idiot. Spit it out. Tell me what you think, you stupid nerd.
Just take these pills. Take these pills.
Sedatives. I don't need your dumb crap. As he explodes them in his hands and walks out.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Someone needs to animate that. I think that's great.
Please, I would love to see that.
Deku trying to ask Gravity on a date. Hi.
Which one do you want me to be? I don't
You be
care either one.
Deku. You be Deku. I'm
Okay,
Yorvio.
okay.
Hi.
Oh my gosh, there's a girl talking to me. What do I need to do? I should probably look at her into her eyes and tell her how beautiful she looks today. Maybe I should hold her hand. Oh, but then that requires touching.
Deku.
Oh,
You're
sorry.
overthinking again, Deku.
Crap, she thinks I'm overthinking. Um, so I was lifting. If you were wondering, wondering if you would lift us up to a date. I'd go on it. Oh man, I screwed that up. Oh my!
How long did it take you to get his voice right?
Deku is just one that I never really tried to do Deku's until I was doing the Darth Plagueis speech as All Might, and then there's a line in there where Anakin would say "No, sir," and I decided I'll just replace that with Deku saying "No, sir,"
Hmm.
and I was like, oh, that actually sounded kind of good.
Okay. Yeah, no, you're very good at it. All those three were perfect. They're absolutely perfect, bro. You're you're a big talent. I'm glad I met you. I'm really glad I met you. You know, TikTok can bring people together. I'm in the little town in the South Island of New Zealand, and you're somewhere in America, and we found each other. You know, I think it's a real meet cute. Don't you agree?
I completely agree. And I think what's even more impressive is like TikTok brings people together in this way that there's no way we would have met before, but we're just, we have such great chemistry. We're just hitting it off and, talking about life, anime, and just having a great time talking about it. And it's always fun when I see a message from you. I'm like, oh, I wonder what this is gonna be.
Well, let's keep being friends, please. And like I said, we'll get you on as a co-host more regularly and talk to some of these cool people together. I want to share the love. No one. I've got no friends that share the the anime Deku craziness that I have. And once I'm finished talking to these cool people, I get off and I'm like, oh, frick, I need to talk. I need to talk to someone about how cool that was. And I try talking to my wife, and she says, "Oh yeah, that's awesome, babe. Well done." But it's not the same. You need to share those experiences with someone. So let's do it sometime. I'm gonna call you once I'm done my next interview, and we can just have a nice chat about it. Okay?
I'm down totally, totally, and I will be definitely like not even low key jealous about it.
No, well, thank you very much for your time. You're amazing. And yeah, I'll message you. I'll call you after this and tell you how excited I was to talk to you.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. I had an absolute blast. I'll be on anytime.
Sweet.